So, you know, there's an expression that with every passing soul, so burns a library. With every passing soul, so burns a library. So I think it's pretty evident what that means without having to have some kind of Greek translator come in. What we have inside of here, the memories that we've collected over a lifetime, if you don't have a way to record those somehow, then they are lost forever. And so it's really neat. It's such a blessing to have a YouTube and a Facebook video channel that I can share and tell you my stories. And so I know that most of you guys come to hear stories of the animals, to see the antics of the animals especially. And sometimes you get roped into watching a video that doesn't include animals, like the one today. But there is something neat about being able to tell a story that you can recall, and then share that story with other people. It's a relief to know that that story did not die with you. That story did not die with you. I watched my dad's YouTube channel, and he puts 3 or 4 videos out a week, and it's 9 times out of 10 in every one of his videos you're going to catch my dad telling a story from his childhood. And I don't think my dad starts off necessarily with the intent of telling a story from his childhood, but I believe that through the course of his video, as he goes along, stories come to mind. And then my dad will end up making a 25, 30-minute video out of something that probably could have been made in 3 or 4 minutes. And so, in saying so, even though my dad is already at the age he is now, and of course we all hope that my dad lives to be, you know, a lot older, when my dad does pass, a lot of those stories that would have passed with him will now live on, not just in those of us that heard my dad tell these stories through, you know, the course of our lifetimes, but through anyone that comes along to watch any of his videos on his channel for as long as YouTube and Facebook is around. And that's pretty powerful. But not everybody has a YouTube or a Facebook channel. And that's where a lot of this comes in. This family and these animals that we take care of here at I'm a Survivor are so very blessed. They have found their way into the hearts of you guys, and I like to think that you find fulfillment in paying your blessings forward when you send them the, you know, gifts and goodies, snacks and treats and whatnot. But I don't know if you guys can get a sense of how blessed I am when you send things to me. And today I'm not talking about gifts necessarily. I'm talking about your stories. And I'm going to take a drive, and we're going to go down in the back. I'm going to go away from the noises of the tractors and the screams and hollers of the animals, the barking of dogs, and Jamie screaming this and that. And I want to talk to you from the heart today. So bear with me. My Uncle Raleigh got my dad, and they got a boat. Oh, this is a funny story. And of course, all of us kids had to come watch. My Uncle Raleigh stood right about here, y'all. My dad was over here with the boat. And the plan was Uncle Raleigh was going to throw that grenade out into the middle of that deep hole. There's about a 15-foot hole here. He was going to pull the pin and toss that grenade out over here. And any fish that washed up from that explosion, my dad was going to come by in the boat and pick them all up. He had a net, and he was ready to go. They made all of us kids, because we were young, they made us stand back behind the trees, back behind the blast zone, if you will. Man, we had it all set up. We had boats ready. We had the net ready. My Uncle Raleigh was ready. All of us kids were ready. Uncle Raleigh come back. He took his position right about here. He pulled the pin on that grenade and he tossed it. Of course, he turned around and ducked down the way you see in every military movie, you know, the way you're trained. My dad's over here holding his ears, ducking down back behind the canoe. The grenade hits the water. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. Oh my gosh, guys, this is funny. Listen to this. My dad and Uncle Raleigh look at each other and they realize it must have been a dud. Maybe it was old, maybe it had gotten wet, the gunpowder inside, maybe the bad fuse, but for some reason that grenade did not blow up and we did not catch a bunch of free fish that day. But then we were scared. See, the problem is now there was what we thought was a live grenade somewhere in that deep water hole. And so Dad come running up out of there. Uncle Raleigh grabbed all of us kids and we all took off in the truck back up to the house. And get this, we were no longer allowed to come back here. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that funny? And you want to know something crazy? I would have never remembered that story. That story had been lost and forgotten until I began to come back here last year. So for, what, 40 years? Guys, for 40 years that story has been lost and it would have been forgotten. Let me turn my camera around. So I watch another fella on his YouTube channel. And he talks about how he's been able to differentiate between the different people, the people who watch his channel. And the one thing that is pretty common is that most of the folks who watch it are usually a little bit older. And then at that point, they can be one or two types of people. One type of people are those who used to, maybe in their younger years, live a similar lifestyle, and they've had animals, they've experienced what a farm and farm life is all about, and how watching his channel helps them reminisce, and it brings back memories of, let's just say, the good old days or their days living on or visiting the farm. And then the other people who watch his channel are folks who never had a chance to experience farm life, but man, they sure wanted to. You know, you cannot hide and take away that love that you have for this lifestyle, for the animals, and for all of the things that go along with farm living. And so he thought it was really neat the way you have these two kinds of people who've kind of come together. And in the comments and in letters that they write to him, a lot of people like to share either their experiences or share the fact that they're able to live the life they would have liked to have lived through his videos. And I was thinking to myself how similar our channels are in that, because I too feel the exact same way. This box that I'm holding here in front of me are the letters that I've received from you guys over the course of 2021. So what Jamie and I have done is we've taken these big plastic totes, and we have two of them now, one for the year 2020, and we have this one here from the year 2021. We have a third tote ready to start as soon as the year changes. And in these totes, what we have is a collection of your stories. I haven't shared a lot of them on videos because it's a lot of times I'll get to the end of a story and I'll find out that you wanted to share it with me, maybe something that you wanted to get off your chest or something that you find that you and I have in common, but you don't want to share them with the internet, with everybody else. And I respect that and I appreciate that. So what I've decided to do is just not read these letters on a video. But then I think to myself about, what if you're the kind of person that finds yourself at the end of your days and you haven't shared that story with anybody, and you want to share something from your childhood. And so I've decided to go ahead and start not a separate channel, but I'm going to devote at least one video a week to sharing stories. And so for those of you that don't have the time to sit and listen, I totally understand that. But I get a blessing from knowing that there are people that entrust me with the memory, with the story. And in a strange way, I kind of become that library. That's very, very, very rewarding and fulfilling to know that you entrust me with those kind of things, with your stories, with your life. But it's also scary to know that you trust me, and it makes it kind of a burden to where I'm afraid I'm not going to do your story justice. So I have decided to spend more time getting into your stories. So today I'm taking a story from Tina. Tina's here in Houston, Texas. Lester, Jamie, and family. I don't know how I came across your videos, but from the first one I was hooked. I love animals too. I wish I was close by just to help you guys from time to time. I come from a family of 7, 2 boys and 5 girls. I'm the baby girl. Now I'm 58 now. So I'm the one taking care of my parents. My dad did pass 8 years ago. He was in my arms. It was strange that he thanked me for taking care of him. Give me just a second, folks. I have promised myself that the one thing I'm not going to do is become a emotional wreck on these videos. So excuse me if I take moments here and there to pause my video, and I will get back to it. So where I left off is she actually was the one holding her dad when he passed, and his last words to her were thanking her for taking care of him. My mom is 89. She came down with lung and breast cancer, and we're getting through it. She's a very strong woman. She loves to sing, and so I take her to karaoke. Can you imagine that? An 89-year-old woman at the karaoke bar singing. That's beautiful. When my dad passed, he broke the chain of the family. I know this sounds weird. I don't get much help from my siblings, but we do manage. This is my story. I guess you can say that I'm the favorite kid. Ha. Anyway, I just want to thank you all for the videos that brighten my day. I laugh and I cry with you. I feel like I am... I'm back. Tina says that she loves the feeling she gets from watching the videos, and that we make her feel like she's also one of our family. Well, thank you very much, Tina, for sharing your story with all of us. And I hope that I did your story justice by sharing it with the other folks on the Facebook and YouTube channels. And I'm going to dedicate at least a video a week to sharing your stories, and so I can pass along a little bit of you with the rest of the world. How blessed I am to be in a position to do that. And so I know that it would take forever to get through every story by doing one a week, so I will condense this, and I'll have a way to tell more stories in future videos. And I understand this video is not for everybody. This kind of video is not for everybody, but I do love the fact that you put an image in my mind, imagining you and your 89-year-old mother at the karaoke bar, along with the fact that your parents chose you to be the one to take care of them in their older age, and especially your dad having you there beside him when he passed. because that is not something that all of us can say, you know. I don't know my dad's final words. I don't know what my dad will be doing when he takes those final moments, but I do know that my dad was there with his dad when he passed. And there's something powerful about that my dad got to experience, and something that you got to experience. And I'm imagining it'll be the same way with your mom. So thank you very much, Tina, and thank you to everybody else. And there'll be more of these. Thank you guys for entrusting me with your stories. And I can't think of a better way to spread the love that you have shown to us by sharing your stories. So thank you guys.